Welcome back, all you fabricants and flashbacks, to the super, not funny show, Gamercast. The Gamercast, where we talk about all things video games, PC gaming, console gaming, hardware, software, all that good stuff. And of course, I am the Mole Coupe, your resident fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'm joined by the anime expert, lover of all things superhero, and a video game designer, Lottie. Lottie, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Really excited to talk about, some of this Nintendo news and also talk about, the little bit of the history of fighting games.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be focusing as our main topic. We're going to be delving back into history once again, but this time we're looking at fighting games over the decades. Is it crazy to say over the decades? But
wow,
yeah, if believe it or not, the first fighting games showed up in the '80s, but they've been refined and expanded and gone all over the place in the subsequent decades. So we're going to look at some of those, and of course, in the news this week, we do have the Nintendo Direct. We're going to run down all of the good stuff that came out of that. We're going to talk also about the Mario Brothers Mario Brothers movie, animated movie, has been, announced, the voice cast announced. And of course, we are going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart because I really want one and I can't get one, and that's the PS5 and the availability of it. So so we're going to run through all of that here on the Gamercast today. So why don't we jump right into that? First with, everybody, maybe y'all don't know this, but on the Supercast and on the Super Not Funny Show channel, I'm a movie guy. I like to go to the movies a lot, so that's my thing. And so for once on the Gamercast, movies and video games kind of cross-pollinate. And something I never thought I would see after that terrible movie, which I saw in the theater and it sucked. Super Mario Brothers movie, way back in the day. After that one, we never thought we'd see Mario grace the big screen again. But you know what? Money talks, and also we're living in kind of a heyday of animated stuff. Would you agree with that, Lottie? We're really getting some excellent animated, fare right now.
Oh yeah, and also Nintendo kind of has to do this because once again, Sega sort of beat them to the punch again, improved. You can make a great video game movie with this mascot, so Nintendo just can't just say, you know what, we gotta have to do this too.
But I think they dipped their toe in the water with Detective Pikachu, which was a pretty good movie. I think it did well enough. I think they're actually getting a sequel to that. It did well enough, but were they gonna have the cojones, if you will, to actually do a Super Mario Brothers movie? And I guess they learned a lesson about doing a live action, so this one's coming animated, and which is, let me just tell you, that's a great idea.
Great idea, yeah.
Just because there's so much more you can do with it. But it's coming from Illumination Studios, which, if you're like, well, why should I care? Well, they made the Despicable Me and those movies, and so a great pedigree from the studio, and they announced the voice cast, which, let me just say, sounds pretty good. Even though some of the choices you're like, what? But we're going to have Chris Pratt. He's going to be Mario. Hopefully.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I know. That's the what. We'll come back to that. Let me run it down. So Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach. I'm just telling you, that's a great call right there. Jack Black's going to be Bowser. Yeah, Charlie Day, who, if you don't watch it, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's going to be Luigi. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Seth Rogen.
Oh my goodness.
Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Fred Armisen.
What in the world?
Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. I'm not really sure who Kevin Michael Richardson is, but he's Kamek, which is a Donkey Kong stuff. Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike. And Charles Martinet, who, if you don't know, is the voice of
actual
Mario.
Mario.
Yeah, the voice of Mario. Yeah, so he's going to be doing. I understand he's going to be doing multiple voices in this.
So basically, he's going to be the the name escapes me. The guy from Marvel, may his soul rest in peace, that always shows up.
Stan Lee.
Yeah, Stan Lee.
I think you know what I think it is like, respect to the guy who's been doing this for years, but also look, Mario don't talk much, so it's can he actually do a whole movie's worth of dialogue? Because Chris Pratt's not just going to be there saying oh no, he's not going to do that the whole time. They're going to actually have him talk. So maybe Chris Pratt, and you laughed about Chris Pratt. He was Emmett. Is that the guy's name from the Lego movie? So yeah, he's the voice of the guys. Chris Pratt, he can do this. He's a good voice.
Yeah, I have no doubt. It's
just weird,
Chris
like I've heard people say, well, why not get an actual Italian? And you know why not get an actual Italian? Because don't nobody know any Italian actors that got that has that accent. Like, who do you know that's what?
Oh my goodness!
Name one that's a star that can drive.
Why would they say that when the Japanese made? Oh my goodness! Why do people say some dumb stuff?
It's you know what? It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does not
to
matter.
Me, I don't care as long as it doesn't get ridiculous with the accent. Like, and I mean, when I say ridiculous, I mean like cringy and maybe offensive. It should be fine. Like, just don't. But I'm fine with Chris Pratt. I like him. He's got star power. So I mean, people literally watch the Tomorrow War, which is a pretty whatever movie, because his name was on it. So hey, smart move. Anya Taylor-Joy, I love this as Peach. I don't know if you know her like offhand, but if you don't, she played Magic in the New Mutants movie recently, which was years ago, by the way. They filmed it years ago. But she was also recently Emmy nominated for The Queen's Gambit. She's an excellent young actor. She is, in my opinion, she's one of the rising stars among the young actors right now. She's a rising star. She's a great actor, and this is a good call to me, as far as I'm concerned. Jack Black. I mean, who doesn't like the guy?
Jack.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see him.
Just think of the voice of Kung Fu Panda. He can do voices, so he's Kung Fu Panda, but as Bowser. Okay.
Mario, you are messing up my style, man.
You know what? The thing is I know he's a comedian, but he's also, again, another good actor, like really good actor. He's done voice work. I mean, I loved him as Poe, and the Kung Fu Panda movies. So basically, I'm down with that. Yeah. I do like Charlie Day. I can take or leave him. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't. But Keegan Michael Key that's my dog from Key and Peele. I love him in everything he shows up in. I really like him. And in fact, he did voice work. Like, just check this out, people. He was one of the hyenas in the live action or live-ish action Jungle Book. Not Jungle Book. Lion King that came a couple years ago. He was really good. Seth Rogen was also in that as Pumbaa. He was great. He's going to be an awesome Donkey Kong. I don't care what anybody says. He's going to be great at it. Even though he might just be doing a lot of grunting. That's what Donkey Kong does all the time. Fred Armisen, he's pretty good. And so, the rest of it, and I like that they did Charles Martinet, a solid by basically saying, respect, we're going to put you in some roles, and respect the fact that you've been doing it. So I'm excited. I have no idea what this story is about or whatever. I don't really care. I love Mario, so I'm down.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to look forward to that. We'll talk about that again. So we're looking forward to that. So. All right, moving on. I want to, before we do the Nintendo Direct, let's just talk about the PlayStation 5. Can we? Can we talk about PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
Look, have you seen that? You know, everyone knows the meme of Fry saying, "Damn it, take my money." That's that's why I feel like right now. I have like, you know, $500 burning a hole in my pocket at this moment that I sincerely desire to give to Sony. I really, really wanted to give it to. I mean, like, do I need to cash app them or something? What do you? Just give me the. Damn it! I want the. And I wanted it so bad, but I couldn't go get it when they were doing the Best Buy one. And and my good friend, my dog, was like, "I'll go get it for you." So Lottie rolled up to Best Buy at like 6 in the morning, which apparently wasn't early enough because there was what you said, there was like 200 people in line.
Man, listen, okay, guys, imagine this: it's Best Buy is in a plaza, right? And the plaza is probably about 500 feet. I might even say it maybe about 600 to 700 feet long. Best Buy is at the absolute end of the plaza. There was a line to the other end of this dang plaza. I'm rolling up at 9. It was dark. And by the way, it was chilly in the morning. It was like 56 degrees. And I see people with coffee in their hand. I'm like, what? Oh my God. The parking lot was packed, Maurice. It was freaking packed. And I was just like, God, this is launch day.
Every time this is how terrible the availability of the PlayStation is. It every day feels like launch day because that's how few of the PlayStations there are available at any one time. This shit is ridiculous. I get why it's happening, but a part of me is just like, are you bitches doing this on purpose? Like, what the hell? Like, and trying to get a PlayStation 5, it really feels like you were on, like, you know, you're in Pirates of the Caribbean trying to find like that fabled ship, you know, the Black Pearl. Yeah. It feels Black like Pearl you keep hearing people say that they've seen it. You keep hearing people say, I've seen it in the wild, but somehow you always miss it. Like this,
that mythical PS5.
Yeah. And if you have an actual job, Lord help you. The thing you need to be able to afford this thing, you have to fucking skip it. Do you hear the frustration in my voice? And I've only been sort of interested in getting one for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. I cannot imagine having waited months trying to get this thing.
So, here's the good news. Maurice. One thing we know, and some people are listening probably going to roll their eyes when I say this. At least it is coming in stores in a massive amount now. In big, huge drops, they're dropping it into stores. Because before, we weren't even getting that. Like, before, it will just have small little drops online where Best Buy will have like 10 available or 20 available. For it to have a lot available to where people felt like they had the line was 200 deep, that people feel like they can get it, shows you that it's slowly getting to be more and more in stock. It's just have the little show patience, but you don't know. You might be one of the random lucky ones, because I have a friend that has been trying to get a PS5 as well, and he so happened to get the invitation from Sony to hold a PS5 for him. So all he had to do was go online at the time that it was supposed to be allocated for him, buy it, and there it was. But, I'm not saying that it's a guarantee, because there is a possibility that you won't get it as well, because, a lot of people are trying to get it as well. They're going to try to hack the site. But at the same time, it's coming in stock. I feel by... It's already... October starts this week. I feel by the end of October, especially by holiday season, if you want a PS5, you will be able to get one.
I certainly hope so. I'm holding out hope for Black Friday.
I think you'll get one on Black Friday. I really feel that Sony is going to bomb the market with PS5 because we already heard and confirmed that Sony is getting 12 or 13 million PS5s are going to be coming in before the end of 2021. So, you know, I feel like the enthusiasts are going to want to get one. And then also what is those people? The people that are selling. By the way, guys, please, for the love of God, if you're listening to this, please do not scalp a PS5. Don't do that to yourself, please. I'm trying to help you. You might there's probably people listening to this rolling their eyes saying, what do you know? Guys, the PS5 is worth $500 and it's selling for like $800, $750 right now. Did you know when you put something on eBay, it's free to put up, but
you pay a percentage.
Whenever it sells, you pay about, I think, 10%. It's between 10 to 15% you have to give off top. And each month it's up there, you have to pay that percentage. Each month it's up there. There are thousands, tens of thousands of people scalping PS5. Don't keep doing it. It's not worth it. It's the same thing that happened to people that have tried to sell the Zen 3 CPUs. This is why AMD, when AMD was finally able to meet demand with their CPUs, they had to drastically drop the price because there's so many idiots on eBay that bought hundreds of these CPUs. They're stuck with it now because people are like, why would I pay this scalp price for it when I can literally go on Amazon right now and get a 5800X? Let me see. Right now, you can get a 5800X for $393 on Amazon right now, and the original price was $450. And I bet you if I go on eBay right now, they're probably selling it even cheaper. 5800X. Whoops, spelled it wrong. 5800X. Yeah, there's people on eBay right now selling this thing for $350 to $300.
Yeah.
300, between 300 and 350. Yeah, that just shows
that's why you do Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. You know, if the supply chain continues to be stagnant, then it's the smart move. But I just want one. Can I just get one? I don't.
You'll get one.
Can I?
You'll get one.
Am I gonna have to pay for like an $800 bundle or something? I don't know, but I just want one. We'll see. We shall see. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, and maybe they'll actually let me buy one. Take my money, Sony. Damn it! I mean, that's all I want you to do. I want your product. Why don't you make it so I can buy it? So, sorry about the whining, but it should not be. It was not this hard to get a damn Wii, and the Wii was like one of the most unavailable things ever.
Yeah, the Wii was actually easy to get. Honestly, if you just went to stores at least once a week, you'll probably luck into getting a Wii.
Now you can't even do that now. You got to climb through a bunch of sweaty nerds to get just to get a chance to maybe view a PlayStation 5 in the wild. It's ridiculous. Anyway, enough of my grousing about that. We got real news to talk about. So, Sony, get your shit together, and also take my money. So, all right, moving on. Nintendo Directs. Nintendo. I did not know this was coming until it just flashed across my news. Because I'm not as dialed into video games. I didn't know this was happening until after the. Actually, I was at work and I was like, oh. Something's happening. So had a chance to look through it, look at some of the trailers and everything like that. You know what? it looks interesting. I'm not saying this is going to be like, oh, make me turn my Switch on more often, but they got some stuff in here. So I figure we'll just roll down. I'm going to use IGN because I'm lazy and I'm not going to make my own list of stuff. I'm just going to go through their list of stuff. So follow along with me, everyone. So first, this is again in order. So Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It was a trailer for this, which is coming in next spring. It looked cute. You know what it is? You know what? This may be the game. Like unlike other people, this game actually really interests me because I am notoriously a fan of 3D platformers. I'm a sucker for any 3D platform, and this looks like a cute little Kirby thing. And I think Kirby's he's one of the best realized characters in my opinion in video games because you know what he is and what he can do and what you're likely to face playing. And I still need to go back and finish Kirby with Epic Yarn. I don't know if you beat Epic Yarn. Epic Yarn's fun. I need to play it. But either way,
Epic Yarn.
Yeah, it looks like a really really cool game. Something I could spend some real time with. Lottie, are you a Kirby? I don't know if you're a Kirby fan, but either way, what do you think about this game?
I'm not a Kirby fan, but I like Kirby. Kirby's one of those characters that I feel like one of the few IPs that Nintendo still shows respect to and actually constantly produces this game. And I think I know why, because the creator of Kirby makes Super Smash Brothers, so you don't want to piss him off. So
that's right. That's how Laboratories, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So you don't want to destroy, you know what I mean? Because they still show Kirby's like I said, one of the few characters that the IP that Nintendo still shows respect to and still constantly brings it out. Because like I said, I'm not a fan of Kirby, but like I said, I have a love for video games, and a character as old as iconic as him, I'm just happy that he's not dead. You know what I mean? That he's still going strong. It puts a smile on my face when I still see in 2022 Kirby is still out there strong and doing well. I won't play it, but I'm happy that there are millions of people that actually like it. You know?
Yeah, it's like I said, it looks good to me. Saw Meta Knight in there or a Meta Knight looking thing doing something. So there looks like some cool power ups and stuff. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. I don't know that I'll buy it day one, but it's definitely something that's on my radar.
Yes.
Moving on, something that I'm excited about because I'm old, and also I texted you about this and everything too.
Yeah.
So Nintendo Switch Online, they I don't know why they want to harken back to like the horrible days of the N64 expansion pack, but they're calling it the expansion pack membership on Nintendo Switch Online, which means they are adding N64 and Sega Genesis games to it. So I'm like, yes. And as an aside, they're also going to make wireless versions of the Genesis controller and the N64 controller available to play these games. Which I can't help it. I love the N64, so that makes me pretty excited.
Yes.
Which isn't to say I'm going to play the hell out of these games, but I'm the one of those sort of persons. I think I might want to play something, so I'll just buy the thing and maybe I'll play it. So I'm probably going to get one of these controllers. But launch lineup for the N64, Super Mario 64, day one purchase for me. I freaking love
those assholes. Nintendo are a bunch of assholes. You know why I'm saying that?
They're going to sell you the same game.
Bunch of assholes, boy.
They're going to sell you the same game. Every console generation, you are guaranteed to buy. You're going to have to buy it again. So you got to get with the program. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Sin and Punishment, Dr. Mario 64, Mario Tennis 64, which is a legendary game. Win Back, which I have no idea what the hell that is, and Yoshi's Story. So, like, the who's who of Mario of N64 games, lacking a couple things that due to rights they can't put on. For the Genesis games, Sonic 2, Streets of Rage 2, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hardcore, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, which one is Fantasy Star 4, Rise Star, Shining Force, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master, and Strider. Every one of those. Like, if you heard it, like, there's like 2 that I don't really know much about, but those are all legendary games from the Sega Genesis library too. Am I wrong? Like, those are legendary games for the. I mean, Sonic 2 by itself is like.
Well,
Streets of Rage 2 is like the shit. Like, just that's a hell of a lineup.
Eggman Mean Bean is a great game too. If you're a Tetris fan, this was the first like really hard Tetris game, I feel.
Yeah.
Like Tetris clone.
Between that and Dr. Mario 64, that's your jam. That's your. So also later on, they're planning to have, I suppose, Banjo-Kazooie, Pokemon Snap Legend of Zelda, Kirby 64, Mario Golf, Paper Mario.
Yes!
F-Zero X. So, look, this was the main reason why I was like, we gotta talk about this. I didn't even have, here's the thing, I had an N64, did not have a ton of money, so I didn't have a whole bunch of games. But man, I loved the N64. And
I love the
with
N64
its weird-ass controller and the tendency to wear out the freaking...
The joystick.
And just like, I jacked my thumb up so much on GoldenEye playing, but I loved the N64. I loved Mario 64. So I'm just like, hell yeah. Why? Yes, please. I'm not kidding. I want Nintendo to get the rights. I know they won't because of Xbox, but Xbox and Nintendo, we all do a handshake or something like this, so we can play. Just release it on both consoles, so we can play GoldenEye 64. Can I get that? Like with online and shit like that, I will drop everything else I'm playing right now and I will go play GoldenEye forever. Anyway, that's not on the list. The point is, N64 and Genesis is coming to this, and I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to set some money aside for this. And I'll probably play it for a few days and drop it. But the point is that I want my wireless N64 controller. So this is interesting to me. Moving on.
Wait, hold up. I do have to say something real quick.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
For the love of God, I want to play Paper Mario again. Please, Nintendo. I know it's coming out soon, but please, do not make this game expensive. Please, I want to play Paper Mario again. Listen,
you talking about for the N64?
Yes, the legend.
Hey,
the legend.
$59.99, sir.
Fuck them. Fuck them at that price.
I really doubt it's not going to be that. But
I think I can comfortably pay $15 for Paper Mario to play Paper Mario again. But for a guy that is an absolute Paper Mario fan, to see what they have done to my boy and basically turned him into this, it's not even Paper Mario anymore, but I just want to play Paper Mario again. And I would love to play, like, Super Mario 64, I've played that to death, not really. I want to play the 2 games that I will purposely put my Switch and get this and get an N64 controller to play again is Paper Mario. And why in the ever-living fuck is Super Smash Bros. Not on the day one list? This is an absolute disgrace, Nintendo. How dare you?
You know why it's not on the list. You know why it's not on the list. It's because they have an existing Smash Brothers right now that is like a big flagship title for them. They don't, they don't want to get in the way of it, because there's the thing about the Smash Brothers community. Same way with Mario Kart, but to a lesser degree.
They fight with each other.
Well, it's not. It's that people in Smash Brothers, especially if you're a long-term fan, have specific ones that they like better than others. So they will drop if this is available. They will drop Smash Ultimate to go back and play that version that they.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Dead ass. If they release the Super Smash Bros. Melee remaster, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will die that day.
Yep.
No one will ever play that game.
Even with all the DLC and all if that Smash Brothers Melee or any other version that people like a lot, if they had online play with it, they would destroy the Ultimate community. So they're not gonna do that. I understand that. Why they don't do that. They don't care about that about Mario Kart, because people like Mario Kart 64, but my personal favorite Mario Kart is still Wii, and I like DS a lot too, and I like Mario Kart 8 a lot. So
Double Dash is my favorite.
Yeah, I never really played Double Dash, which that's on me. I just never really. But the price of the game never came out. So it's years later. I'm not gonna play for that. But it was fun when I played it. But still, that's not. Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U, so it's old. No one's worried about cannibalizing it. So it's not a big deal. But yeah, that's it's a good thing that they're doing this. I just hope that they plan to really expand the number of titles. That's all.
Yeah.
Don't keep it so small. Something I don't really care about, but I'm going to mention it because it's on the list. Bayonetta 3 is coming out. Let's see when it's coming out. Next year.
2022. Yeah. Just next year.
Just next year. Don't give us a specific time. I've never played this game. It's not. What is it? Is it a rail shooter? Am I wrong about that, or is it sort of not a rail shooter? But
it's literally female Devil May Cry.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Doesn't she have guns on her shoes or something?
Yeah. Let
me just say, Japanese developers. What the fuck are y'all smoking? I just wonder about that sometimes. People are, why are there guns on their shoes? Just because. It's because reasons. I'm just saying, I've always wondered about that, why?
Yeah, the only thing different is that instead of being a devil like Dante and Virgil, she's a witch.
Yeah. With guns.
Yeah, with guns.
So,
and her hair is actually a demon.
It said the end of the trailer also showed a mysterious character who looked a bit like Virgil from Devil May Cry. Crossover, anyone? Maybe. Who? Look, that's not my jam. So if that's something you guys are into, hey, it's a thing that's happening. So yeah. On to another thing I don't really play or care that much about, but I'm gonna mention anyway because it's big with the Nintendo crowd, I guess. Splatoon 3. So it must be good because it's got a third one coming. Nintendo, they love their franchises. Which, you know what? Actually, I got to give them a credit. I'm going to stop being kind of shitty about it. I have to give them this much. It is a relatively new IP for Nintendo. It's not just one from 25, 30 years ago that they're milking. They're milking one from the last decade, so good on them.
Yeah.
Are you a I'm assuming you played Splatoon, but I don't think that you're
I have never
played Splatoon. Wow, you're surprising me, sir. Because I know you've had access to a Wii or Wii U or Switch for some time now, and you're just like, I'm good.
It's just I actually own. Honestly, I own Splatoon. My brother bought it for me for some reason. I don't know why, but he bought it, and it's just not my thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's first of all, I don't really like battle royales like that much anyways. So having this really cartoony version of it sort of like it's just not my like you said, it's a great game. I'm never going to say it's a bad game. I like what it's doing. That Nintendo's creating a fun game that kids could play to keep them from going into playing the violent games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I know we talked about in the last Gamercast about how games were getting banned, but it's true. Like I feel like little kids shouldn't be online playing Call of Duty. Kids should be playing games like Splatoon online. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and it's just like, it's introducing them into that kind of game without having all the blood and guts and shooting people. You just spraying paint on people. It's but they get the idea about capture the flag and all that other stuff like that. So it's a smart bit. To me, it's a smart bit of kind of education of young people. But not really my kind of game. Speaking of not really my kind of game, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion pack announced for summer 2022. Do you play Monster Hunter?
I've always wanted to get into it, but I don't have anybody to play it with. Like, I'm not gonna buy. I've gotten to the point that I'm not gonna buy a game or invest time into a game that I know no one is gonna play it with me, and it's an online game.
Oh, it's an online game. I did not know that.
Yeah. Monster Hunter is an online game. Like, it's sort of like imagine like World of Warcraft, but like you're fighting monsters, and like you could play like on a closed online. Somehow I don't know how the hell Capcom. They must be using their own dedicated servers, because somehow Capcom is making this game play amazing on the Switch when we all know Nintendo's online is absolute dog shit. Somehow they're getting this game to play well, but it's also a PC game, so they're probably using PC servers as well, because it's crossplay for PC, so they're probably using PC servers as well. But like, it's one of those games you go online, you could play on a private server where it's just you and a couple of people, you take on monsters, or you can play in a public server where you'll be fighting a monster and like people will come and help you. But like the thing that I like that this game added is that the monsters fight each other, which, come on now, let's be honest, that is realistic. You like, we all know, like, something that big, they will want their own territorial space. When something else comes into the territorial space, they won't just keep attacking the player. They'll actually look at each other like, hey, homeboy, what you doing in my den? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, I've sort of thought about the game, but I've got so many other things to be playing. So, but I mean, hey, if this is your jam, hey, something's coming out next year. Speaking of something else that's coming out soon. In fact, I want to say it's next week. They're having they're going to reveal the last DLC fighter for Smash Bros. Ultimate. I guess, yay.
Yeah.
I don't. There's people love to speculate about those things, but I guess that means that the game will finally be finished, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Maurice. I'm so happy that this thing could be over with, because I'm so sick and tired. I don't like where Smash Bros. Have become. I don't like what it's become. It's now becoming sort of like Fortnite, where we're like, oh, who can they add next to the game? To where, like, I feel like they're wasting more time putting characters into the game instead of making the game better. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man, this is probably one of the weakest Super Smash Brothers games I've ever played. Like, because after honestly, there's nothing really in the game besides the enormous character list. And I'm really happy that this is finally over. And I hope that the next Super Smash Brothers, that they stop worrying about putting characters in the game and start just making a Smash Brothers game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because really, like, honestly, Maurice, when me and my brother, came out in 2018, like, wow, the game's about to be 3 years old. When we first got it, we had fun, we played it. But then after, like, you just earn the characters, there's absolutely nothing to do. One of the reasons why
you're playing competitively.
Yeah, like, see, and this is the thing that why people say Super Smash Bros. Melee is the greatest Super Smash Bros. Game of all time. For a game that came out all the way for the GameCube, there was so much to do. There was event matches, there was break the targets, home run contest, there was adventure mode, classic mode, all-star mode, and you had to beat it with every single character. There was the melee wire team where you had to fight them in endless melee, even cruel melee, and beat it with every character. There was so much to do in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Collect all the trophies. There was mini games. But in this new Smash Bros., there's really nothing. After there's that little road of light, but that thing is terrible. There's really nothing in the game, you know? And it just, for I feel like we spent $60 just to spend more money on characters. That's what I feel like the game turned out to be. Well, $60 to end up paying for more characters.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, welcome to modern fighting games. This trust... Like as a Street Fighter 5 player, I finally broke down and bought characters. You know, it's like, I don't sit here and earn fight money for every one of these guys. Screw that. Well, at least Capcom gives you opportunity to earn fight money, so you can just buy the characters just by being good at the game. So either way, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But so that's happening. Animal Crossing is going to have its own direct. I don't really play Animal Crossing, but it's really popular. It's one of the main reasons a lot of people are getting a Switch.
Do you want me to be honest with you?
Go ahead.
I absolutely love Animal Crossing. I love Animal Crossing so much. It is an absolute secret love for me. Like a absolute, like almost like I'm embarrassed how much I love Animal Crossing. I love it so much.
Lottie, I'm gonna have to see your card. Your true gamer, your hardcore gamer card.
I love Animal Crossing so much. I love it so much that I don't buy it. You know why? Because if I buy it, that'll literally be the only thing I'll play. Like I literally destroyed a whole entire summer of high school playing Animal Crossing DS, and just to seeing what I saw the trailer of the new Animal Crossing, I said, nope, I ain't buying this because I'm gonna ruin my life. I'm gonna literally ruin my life. I said, nope, I ain't doing this to myself.
People having other members of their family farm stuff for them, watch, you know, so that when they play the game, they'll have stuff available. And I'm like, oh my God, Nintendo, you guys have actually turned. You've actually made what Chinese MMO developers have always wanted. Something that makes people want to grind for hours on end just for small things. And I'm like, no thank you.
I will never play. I love Animal Crossing so much, I'll never play it again. That's how much, like, it's like that. It's like that. It's that addicting of a game. Like the one on DS, the whole thing about grinding is getting a house, and every time you like upgrade your house, you're in more debt. So you're just grinding out, trying to pay this freaking house off. But bro, I'm never again.
It's like I'm gonna be homeless in Animal Crossing. So there's that. That's gonna be coming up soon. Now this is actually something that's big, not for me, but for Jen. Jen is she's a huge Mario Party fan. So she was very happy to hear that they're going to be making a Mario Party Superstars game. So this is not, the current Mario Party for Switch, which we have, but this one is specifically about throwbacks. It appears that they're all about going back to like the popular boards and everything.
Oh, yes.
From previous Mario parties and just kind of putting them all into one, Switch game. Which, Nintendo, they are the masters of nostalgia and making you pay for the same game you've already paid for many times. So this seems to be just another one in the line. But, I mean, if you love the old Mario parties, can you not buy this?
Seriously. I'm buying this.
Yeah, I'm going to say you can't not buy this.
I'm buying this, and I'm going to destroy. I might destroy so many friendships playing this game because I'm not gonna lie.
You can play online with random people, so you can destroy other people's nights.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm still a little salty that Jen stole all my stars on the last turn. I am still salty about that. That was years ago, and I am still salty. Guys, I had 4 stars going into the last turn, and Jen stole every one of my stars. And it was the last turn, so there was nothing I could do. Oh, I was so salty.
Yep, good old Mario Party. So just like I said, you can play this online with other people, so you don't have to potentially end lifelong friendships over a game. So, looks good. We'll check it out. I don't know if it's gonna be a day one purchase, but definitely by the holidays. We also have a announcement of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This is not the remake that we talked about. This is just a port to the Switch. Who wants this? I don't know.
Please don't buy this. You're foolish if you buy this.
You already know that they're doing a remake. So
yes.
Unless you really
don't do this.
Unless you really just want. But look, I bought Knights of the Old Republic on PC for like $5.
Yeah, but this is going to be 60, Maurice. We all know.
I know. I'm just saying. I bought it on Steam for $5 on one of the many sales that they have. So, I mean, if you want to do that to yourself, I guess.
Because Nintendo's going to charge a good penny for this. You already know.
Yeah.
They're not going to. It's not going to be $5. I'm just going to be honest, guys. You buy this, you're absolutely foolish.
I'm just imagining some random Switch owner being like, oh, there's a new Star Wars game on or Nintendo Switch, let me get this, and then just confronted with those old Xbox graphics.
Yep.
This looks so lifelike. Let's see. They announced some things that were available the day of this. So Castlevania Advance Collection came out, and ActRaiser Renaissance Remastered came out. And then, let's see, Project Triangle Strategy, which Square Enix tactical RPG called Triangle Strategy, to be released on March 4th of 2022. So this looks like one of those Japanese strategy RPGs, like, what was that? I forget the name of the one that was really big on Game Boy Advance. Not Gold. I was gonna say Gold Summit. I don't think it's Gold Summit. But Final Fantasy Tactics and that sort of thing. And now, this one is specifically for you, Lottie.
Yes.
Because I know you are the biggest Samus Aran. Am I saying that Aran or
yeah?
Aran. You are the biggest fan of Samus that I know in real life or online. And so they showed an extended story trailer of Metroid Dread. I think that it looked pretty cool. It's side-scrolling and all that stuff, old school Metroid. And I thought it looked pretty cool, and that's all I'm going to say because I want you to say everything about what you felt about it.
I'm going to tell you right now, I've only watched one trailer of Metroid. You know why? Of Metroid 5. You know why? Because that's how much of a fan I am. I do not want to know anything about this game. I want to go in 1,000% blind. My brother tries to tell me, hey man, the new shut up! He's like, well, hey, shut up! He said, well, is this a game? I don't care. I want to go into the game 1,000. I don't want to know anything. All I just want to know is they're making a new Metroid game. I don't want to know what's happening. All I saw in the first trailer, she's getting chased. I don't care what else happens because I just know that's how I don't ruin the game for me because I love Metroid this much. Like one trailer is absolutely good enough for me. The people are like, well, don't you want to know what? I don't care. Metroid. Nintendo is finally respecting my girl. They finally brought her back from the depths of hell.
Now, what's the very first thing happened is she's in her zero suit. Like, now I've got to go find all of my suit again. Why do they? Why do they keep breaking this thing up? I should really get a suit that doesn't break up like this. It's like who made this thing so that it would break apart so easy?
Man, I am so happy. I love Metroid, man. Like a lot of people really like I said, Metroid is real close to my heart. Like I'm not lying. Like I love Metroid. It's one of the few games that I grew up with as a kid, and I played Metroid Prime like 1 billion times. I played Metroid Fusion like 1 billion times. I played every Metroid game I've beaten probably so many times over. Honestly, guys, I'm not lying to you. I haven't played a Metroid game in almost 10 years. But if you put any of the old Metroid games in front of me right now, I'll be able to beat that game in less. Besides the Prime game, the 2D scrollers, I'll probably beat it in less than an hour and a half. That's how I remember and just love the games. I can't wait to play through this game. I'm probably going to beat it probably 30 or 40 times. Can't wait.
There you go. I think it looks pretty cool. So I cannot wait to when this comes out to hear your thoughts on it. It's October 8th. Good God, that's
right around the corner, man.
It's literally next week. So if we don't do a Gamercast next week, you know why. All right. Let's see. What's this? Yoko Taro card RPG. I don't care about this. Some card RPG. Don't care about that. Maybe you do. I don't. Dying Light 2 Cloud version and Dying Light Platinum Edition coming to Nintendo Switch. I have not played any Dying Light games, so I don't even know what's up with this. Any word on it?
I'm interested in Dying Light, but I'm sure it's not interested on the Switch. So next,
yeah. Mario Kart Super Rush gets some new characters and courses. Oh, more DLC. Oh. Even though I do think that the Mario Golf Super Rush, don't tell you yet, but probably gonna get that for Christmas too. Because she actually likes golf games. She likes Mario Golf. So, why not? It'll be another reason to turn the Switch on. Deltarune Chapter 2 was released on Switch. Chocobo GP brings a Final Fantasy racing game to Switch in 2022. I guess we need another kart racer for if you like Final Fantasy. It's a kart racer with that Final Fantasy thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna stick with Mario Kart. I always stick with the originator, not the imitator.
Yeah.
Disco Elysium, the final cut, arrives on Switch on the 12th. I don't even know what that is, but if you like that, it's coming to you. New trailer for Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, new expansion. Was Hyrule Warriors any good? I don't know. I've never.
Hyrule War. My brother liked it. He said it was like Dynasty Warriors, basically.
Oh, I hate Dynasty Warriors though.
So yeah, don't get it. But my brother liked Hyrule Warriors. I don't care. I'm not when it comes to some of the characters that I like main characters. I don't like you said, Nintendo's just juicing out their main IPs by making spin-off games, and it's no, just make another Legend of Zelda. Stop it.
I wish if they're gonna do that, I wish they'd start doing more interesting combos, like Mario Cross Gundam or something like that. I'd play that. Just because who thinks Mario in a Gundam? Why the hell not? Some stuff like that. Let's see, Disney Magical World 2. Again, don't care. Maybe it's something fun if you just want to explore Disney with your league, but I don't. Shadowrun Trilogy to be released in. That's an old school isometric RPG. Yeah, it might be interesting if you want to scratch that itch of old school RPGs. Rune Factory 5 is coming to Switch in 2022. Don't even know what that is. and they were adding some more arcade classics. So that was it. The main thing to me was the N64 thing, Metroid, the Mario Party, and the Kirby one. So it was for an out of nowhere bit of information. Like I was like, cool, this looks pretty good. Let's see this stuff, and maybe Nintendo, I might give y'all some money this year. Well, yeah, I might give y'all some money this year. So, cool. All right, so that's the Nintendo Direct, which gets us to about. I guess we'll talk about 20 or so minutes. Let's talk about fighting games. Talk about fighting games through the decade. They're just going to do we'll skim over an overview or whatever, and then talk about a few specific games that have kind of shaped the genre over the course of the past 30 years. So, fighting games actually, they started in the 80s. They just weren't very good. Being honest, they just weren't very good. Like I remember playing karate on Nintendo and not really understand. Now I even played it on the Atari 2600. Horrible. Any game that fighting game that uses one button to attack and you move around with the stupid joystick, that's not really good. You're probably not gonna be really good. But as the 8-bit era kind of proceeded, there were some, I guess I won't say decent, but some fighting games that had a promise. Like, believe it or not, in Japan, they really figured out how to make a Nintendo work despite itself, because the Nintendo wasn't the most powerful thing. So, you actually can find some, believe it or not, there was a Nintendo version of Street Fighter 2 at one point. But other than that, though, 8-bit era is not exactly overflowing these games or good fighting. So, the 90s was really where fighting games really defined themselves and really took off. And if you're going to talk about fighting games, you kind of have to talk about the granddaddy of them. One that still continues, like an old, wizened Chinese kung fu master with long white beard, continues to kick ass right now. That's Street Fighter. Street Fighter 1 actually came out in the 80s, 87, I think. But, most people have never really played it. I actually, believe it or not, I played it in the arcade in the 90s, because there was a pizza place in my hometown that just had it, and the game sucked. It wasn't very good. After having played Street Fighter 2, it wasn't very good. But it started everything off. But really, I think modern fighting games that we understand them now, really started with Street Fighter 2.
Oh, yeah. I played the original Street Fighter as well. This was back when voice acting was terrible. Sagat had the most annoying high-pitched voice. Tiger knee. I was just like, wait, they did my boy like this? This kid, Hadouken. No, my boy. But yeah,
it sounded like they got Goku's Japanese voice actors to do that.
Yeah, it was not good, man. It was bad.
But Street Fighter 2. Okay, understand something. It was such a revelation. Like, it came off the bat. It came off of the Final Fight had come out a year or so before Street Fighter 2 debuted, and everyone loves Final Fight because Final Fight was like a much better Double Dragon, and Double Dragon was one of the 80s best coin operated beat ups. But Final Fight was like a much better version of it. But then the same company that did that, Capcom, they released Street Fighter, and it was just out of nowhere. The Final Fight, you could fight with two people would go and beat the hell out of CPUs, right? Mm-hmm. But this time you could play the CPU, which was highly unfair, by the way. or you could beat up your friend. And I don't know about you, but you got a bunch of dudes around any kind of game where they can humiliate each other. That's guaranteed to go on for hours. And I think it really started like the arcade culture. Maybe it was waning a little bit because there were still arcades because video games weren't super available to everybody. But throwing in competitive fighting games was just like a game changer. That's when you saw the arcades explode in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because as soon as Street Fighter was a thing, now you had SNK. They started developing like their King of Fighters. What was it? Samurai Showdown. You had out of left field, Midway came out with Mortal Kombat, which is another titan of fighting games. Which again, an old wizened master that still it kicks ass to this day. But yeah, Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, that was, and what was funny, that was the first time a kind of a schism within fighting game. Because you, generally speaking, you were one or the other, right?
Yep.
And so, and I fell down on the Street Fighter side of things, even though I like Mortal Kombat, but I fell down on the Street Fighter side of things.
Yeah.
And so, did you ever get to play these in the arcade?
Oh yeah, I played them. Shoot, man.
I don't, because I could not remember when they started really taking the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat cabinets, out. Like, I could not remember when they started disappearing.
I played Mortal Kombat. That's really the only time I played Mortal Kombat, because let's just be honest, there was no way in hell my parents were gonna buy Mortal Kombat, for me. But I played Mortal Kombat a lot. I played a lot of Street Fighter. Like I said, like growing up in like the 90s of like fighting games, like I know like your era was Street Fighter. Street Fighter was like the early 90s, Mortal Kombat 2. But like I really truly grew up with like the first like true fighting game that I actually grew up with was Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom was like the first like oh man, this is the thing. And I loved playing as Mega Man because I was a huge Mega Man fan. Loved Mega Man. So I always made sure to play as Mega Man. I played a lot of Street Fighter. I played a lot of like you said, Street superhero, Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter. Played that. I played a little bit of Mortal Kombat, but really, honestly, the game that changed fighting games for me, and I'm pretty sure you know what it is. It was Tekken.
Yeah.
Tekken came in like this. Like it was like Tekken was the perfect ingredient for the PlayStation. This unknown fighting game that came out of nowhere, this upstart that thinks it can come in to the fighting game industry and take over. And because the whole story, Namco wanted to get Tekken out and nobody will take it. And, PlayStation was like, hey, yeah, come to us. We'll put you on our console. And it changed everything. Yeah. Tekken changed everything. It was the first non-jank 3D fighting game. It was.
I was going to mention, Virtua Fighter had come out, and it looked like garbage. But it looked like garbage. But it was a 3D fighter, and it was new. And suddenly you weren't confined to 2 dimensions. You could move around. And Tekken really kind of. What Tekken did was it brought the promise of that to a smoothly playing, fun experience. And it used motion capture and stuff like that to kind of make the models look better. And, it had a bunch of dynamic roster of a bunch of very different and very memorable characters. So, again, I was not a Tekken person. To this day, I don't like Tekken. Not because it's not a good game. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around how to play the game. 3D fighters, I'm more of a 2D fighter sort of person. But I recognize, game recognized game. That game has gone through so many iterations, and it is a legit fighting game.
I think Tekken was the first like like fighting game that started the quote unquote, now that you're starting to see Tekken started what we call fighting games now having stories and campaigns behind them, actually having lore. Street Fighter had lore, but it wasn't taken seriously. Same thing, Mortal Kombat. Tekken was the first time we actually saw like high budgeted, like the game is revolved around the lore. It's about a son who's betrayed by his father. Now he wants revenge. And because of that, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat had to respond to, now you're seeing it. Street Fighter, not too much. I mean, they still have their little story, but it's not as serious as it was in like the other iterations that came out in the early, like the 2000s. But like Mortal Kombat, for a fact, has a dedicated campaign that they spend millions of dollars on just because of Tekken.
Right. Yeah, the idea of fight. So, but that's something that runs across all fighting games, because they have to have a reason for fighting. So, the whole thing with King of Fighters, the whole thing with Samurai Showdown. They have there's what is the God? Why can't I remember what's the game that Terry Bogard comes from? It slips my mind. I keep wanting to say Streets of Rage, but that is not what.
He came from King of Fighters.
Is it King of Fighters? I feel like
it's King of Fighters.
Either way, the SNK characters, and so they're all having like interconnect. What's even more interesting is, as far as that goes, is like think of the DOA game, Dead or Alive, that came out in the '90s, which DOA their kind of slant on fighting games was, hey, boobies.
Yeah, it was. It was a fighting game that tried to take it.
It's a legit game.
Yeah, it tried to take it. It was taking itself seriously at first. I would say DOA went like really into that over like sexuality was
2
after. No, it wasn't even. I won't even really say 2. I'll say it was Dead or Alive 3.
Yeah.
Dead or Alive 3 is when it like the quote unquote rumor code butt naked mode. Like
this is why.
Yeah.
And then it branched into Extreme Beach Volleyball, which was an actually good game, but also was very much about fan service. Or fan service. That's a nice way of saying jiggly, breasted, scantily clad, women, basically.
That game used to like weird me out, and I just didn't like how like GameStop will purposely put the game like on the front counter, and I'm just like, like it would just be like, people actually playing this?
It was actually a good game, but also, some of these companies started having like shared universes, if you will, because the whole Ninja Gaiden series is directly related to Dead or Alive, and so they become more than just like, oh, we need an excuse for beating each other up. But the '90s was interesting in the sense that, in the same way we mentioned last week about the gaming history, the difference between the start of the decade and the hardware available and the end of the decade was significant enough that at the start of the decade you could have 2D pixel fighters, pixel art fighters, and at the end of the decade you would have 3D, 3D model games like DOA and Tekken, Virtual Fighter, and you still had. But the thing is, you still had room for the other kind, or either you had, even Killer Instinct. You had, Nintendo or with Rare trying to make some inroads there. Everyone sort of wanted to have like their own little Street Fighter. And of course, a lot of them fell by the wayside. But what's also I want to note is that this is since this was still the arcade era, this is also the start of what they call the FGC, or the fighting game community, and turning these games from just being things you play with each other at home, if you have a decent enough console, but also something that you go and play competitively against other people at the arcade, you know. And I've heard people like the old school, the old heads, if you will, that played Street Fighter 2 and 3 and so forth, in the arcade would spend hundreds of dollars just to get to, you know, as they call it, to lab combos and stuff like that. And that sort of, and I've heard, you know, like a glitch, or they're talking about a glitch in Street Fighter is what led to what we understand about fighting games now, which is the combo systems. And as the 2000s, you know, proceeded and new iterations of Street Fighter and Tekken and you know, King of Fighters, all these, so did kind of the more complicated nature of fighting games, proceed. And also, we would be remiss if we didn't mention it. Smash Brothers came out.
Oh yeah, another rogue that just showed up, was like, hey, we can do this, and my God,
Super Smash Brothers came because it was a different kind of fighting. The thing is it like the proliferation of fighter games also was a proliferation of a different way, an outlook on how one goes about making a fighting game. So you had the Street Fighters and you had the Street Fighter type, you know, like Capcom versus SNK, which, by the way, Capcom versus SNK, one of the greatest fighting games ever. Two in particular. And of course you had Street Fighter, then you had the iterations on Street Fighter, like the Marvel superheroes, you know, so now you had the tag team based 2D fighters, right? Some of the greatest, you know, fighting games that exist. You also had Tekken, and eventually Tekken had a tag version also. Right?
I love Tekken Tag. Oh man, you just act. Even though I typed the name when we were doing the prep, I typed the name, but you saying the name just activated a massive nostalgia bomb. Oh man, I loved Tekken Tag. Tekken Tag came out in 2000 when we got the PlayStation 2. Man, oh man, this is just this is almost like real talk. Like, I would say it's bringing me to tears, but it's just bringing me so much joy of my childhood when my uncle will come to Tallahassee and he'll bring my cousin and we'll just stay up all night just playing Tekken between each other. Tag. Oh man, I love that game. Oh, it's so much of my childhood just put into a disc.
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I mean, so you have the tag games for those two. But then you had Smash Brothers, which was like, its philosophy was just like, it's the same. Hey, beat up somebody, right? But it added like obstacles, and it was you could play 4 players at a time. You know, there's items and stuff like that. The controls are simple enough for a kid to play the game, but if you know what you know, it can be very complex. And also, this is another in the true spirit of Nintendo games, a game that will make you lose friends.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I actually for real think that they're like, we're gonna sell so many controllers with this game.
Yes.
Because how many controllers got thrown and broke over there?
Oh man, I have so many stories of like Super Smash Brothers, because like you said, it was this game that came out, just took the world by storm in the 90s, the late 90s. And man, it was like, I had a Nintendo 64. I only owned 2 games. It was Super Mario 64 and Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers got played a lot. I mean, a whole lot. We played Super Smash. Super Smash Brothers was such a good game. Me and my brother loved Super Smash Brothers so much. We got excited when we got a new controller. That's how much we loved Super Smash Brothers. When we finally could afford a new controller, we're like, yeah, Super Smash Brothers time. But like, oh man, I can't tell you how many times we'll get mad because we had a friend, every time he'll lose, he'll be like, this game, he'll throw the controller and be like, hey man, this is not your controller, chill out, man. So I can tell you exactly what happened. So there's this in the original Super Smash Bros. The most powerful item in the game is the hammer, and my friend picked up the hammer. Him and my brother were both on 1 life. He was playing as Samus. My brother was playing as Captain Falcon. My brother was like on 100 damage, so if he gets hit, he's dead. He's also on 100 hammer, and he's already bragging as he's coming towards my brother with the hammer. But then my brother doesn't run away. My brother charges up Falcon Punch, and it was frame perfect. When the hammer was going up, the punch connected with my friend and killed him. And my God, the amount of rage that came out from him was so explosive. The controller literally shattered. And I was just like, hey, man. And, you know, after he calmed down, he told his mom about it. His mom bought us a new controller. And, you know, he was, nice. You know, like I said, he was our friend. But it was just, man, I love Super Smash Brothers. Took the world by storm, and it's still going to this day. Still a phenomenon to this day.
Actually, yeah, Smash Ultimate is still a big deal. So, but yeah, you had like all these kind of different-ish fighting games. And you started to have like people in tournaments. Like, you know, the GOATs, if you will, the OGs that, you know, like Daigo. Daigo, Justin Wong, you know.
Yep.
A bunch of these old school players. Hell, even who's I'm trying to think. There's a bunch of Japanese players that, you know, that are, you know, in their late 30s, early 40s, who were old school Street Fighter players. You know, they were cutting their teeth back then. And, you know, as the 2000s rolled around, you know, Street Fighter had, you know, moved on into, you know, Street Fighter. They had done Street Fighter 3 and Alpha and all. You know, again, increasing the complexity of the games. You know, adding new things like EX moves and you know, infinite combos, which is who the fuck thought that was a good idea? A combo that once you get caught in it, you can never stop. If the person's good. And trust me, the people who are hardcore about this can do those infinites.
Yeah, they can do those infinites. Once you're caught, it's dead. And then the parry, because what has the thing I would say this happened actually in 2000 or 2001. And any of you guys can actually look this up. Look up Daigo versus Justin Wong Street Fighter.
Yeah.
One of the greatest moments in gaming history. Just not fighting game history.
Yeah, they call it the Daigo parry. Yeah.
Listen, Daigo's name is going down in so much, just is so famous because of this. And I think you guys may not truly understand it, but so Chun-Li, when she does her special, she has the fastest kicks in the game. Daigo did not have any meter, so there was no way he was going to be able to dodge it. So the only way he could do it, because Justin Wong got him. He got him with the combo. The only possible way, which no one thought this was possible back then, was for him to, except Daigo, to parry every single kick by Justin Wong, by Chun-Li. And each one is a single frame, which is a single frame is almost, 1/16 of a second, I think? Yeah, a frame is 1/16 of a second. So this dude was doing parries at a 16th of a second and somehow blocked every single one and then did his super and beat Justin Wong. Listen, the place went absolutely bonkers. I remember seeing this as a kid and I was just like, is that even possible? Like, what? No, there's no way. And I just, listen, it changed fighting games forever. Fighting games are now a big thing because of that. Evo, all these other fighting game tournaments are big because of that moment. It was like, that moment I will compare it to literally like the NFL, like imagine like Super Bowl, I don't know the exact number, but you know, the Super Bowl where the 49ers came back against the Bengals and scored at the last second. That is literally on par when it talks about changing an industry. That caused the NFL to go into what it is now, and that's what caused the fighting game industry to become what it is now. Every fighting game has become, it's because of those two. Those two guys, Justice Wong and Daigo, made fighting games. It's like not, of course, fighting games were selling in the millions, of course, but its international and commercial fame started because of that, for the tournament scene.
Yeah, this, I mean, and there's since then been many other, big time matches. But you're right, the FGC has really, it's esports now. There's esports team and everything for all sorts of fighting games and, tournaments and the like. So, the 2000s, there was, Street Fighter, 4. I think Street Fighter 4 came out in 08. Am I right about that? I think 08's about.
09.
09, so somewhere around there. Mortal Kombat, they made new iterations of that. And I think we got Injustice. Injustice came in 2010.
So, yeah, because like how you were just saying, 2000s were sort of like Capcom disappeared, Tekken took over, and with the original Tekken 4, 5, 6, and all that. So Tekken was real big during that time. I'm trying to remember what else. It was Tekken, Soul Calibur. There was a few fighting games. Street Fighter came back at the end. And really, like, Mortal Kombat went 3D, and those are the games I told you, quote unquote, the last one that got banned. But Mortal Kombat, Deception, and Deadly Alliance were great games. But like you said, the 2010s is where I would say was everybody wants to make a fighting game. Everybody wants to turn their characters into fighting games,
Yeah, well, and the 2010s kind of leads us into, I guess, really kind of where I've really entered the fighting game. I sat out a lot of this. I'm not gonna lie. I sat out a lot of this. I wasn't really into fighting games too much of this time. But like, gosh, what is it? Probably 5 or 6 years ago. No, I'm wrong. 4 years ago, I was just like, man, this Street Fighter 5 looks pretty cool. And I went and bought Street Fighter 4, which is it's not really like Street Fighter 5. Like,
no, it's completely different.
It's not really the same game, which is weird to me. Like, the differences between games. Like, there's a lot of DNA that's shared between Street Fighter 2 and 3, right?
Yeah, and you not to cut you off, but this is one of the things that just defines this era too. This is one of the things that I don't like that what fighting games are becoming now. Fighting games are becoming so different than what they were, that it's almost like playing a whole new game. Like, the only fighting game that I feel like is still, if you only play Tekken 1 or 2, you could play Tekken 7 without any problem. The characters that were in Tekken 2 that are in Tekken 7 play still exactly the same like they used to. They just added a couple of moves and all that stuff. But it's like nowadays with Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, it's almost like it's a completely different game. Like, I'll pick up, like, good example. One of the main reasons that really turned me off of Mortal Kombat 11, I remember I tried to play Mortal Kombat 11 and I tried to do Smoke Bomb, which is always up, down, X. That's his Smoke Bomb. Forward, up, X. That's how you do his Smoke Bomb. Then my brother's like, oh, you have to pick Smoke's other archetype. What the hell? He's like, yeah, this archetype of Smoke can only teleport. Like, why would they do that? Like, and he was just like, oh, sort of to balance out the game. Man, I don't want to play this anymore.
Well, that's actually a big deal with because here's the thing about modern fighting games. If you're playing them, first of all, playing any modern fighting game casually is hard to do. Like, you can't just be like, I'm just going to pick it up and mash buttons. No. If you play online, that's just a good way to frustrate yourself. You actually have to study. To play fighting games in any kind of reasonable competitive, you need to play a lot and you need to study a lot, and you have to learn the mechanics of the particular game. If you want to play Injustice, you got not just play through the tutorials. You need to go online and look up how to do things.
Yeah.
And like some things that have been built into the game for the last 10, 15, 20 years are things that a casual player won't know and can still sort of play the game. They can't like compete with good players, but they can play and have a decent amount of fun. But I can tell you from having tried to teach Jen how to play Street Fighter V, the average person that just wants to press buttons they're gonna find Street Fighter V intimidating because there's the B trigger system, there's the B skill the B meter system. You got to watch all these meters, and then you got to learn frame data and shit. Like if you just want to screw around in Street Fighter V, it's really not fun.
It's not fun.
And I imagine the same thing goes for most other competitive fighting games. Like like now it's I think it's going in a bad direction. Now a lot of people be like, "Oh, you just want it for casuals?" I'm like, yes, because I mean
that's who make the game purchase. Like the reason why Street Fighter is still going to this day because John Doe and Jane Doe bought the game in the millions. Just because you, this super good player, buys it, you are one in what? Let's say how many true competitive Street Fighter players are in the world?
How many? So you're talking about diamond and above? Not that many. Like in the
they're actual good ones. Just in the thousands. You really think you are the reason why Street Fighter is still making games? No, you are not. It's sort of like saying, oh, the person who gets the skybox in the NFL is the reason why the NFL is still going. No, you're not. Those other thousands of fans who are sitting in the cold are the reason why the NFL is still going to this day. Stop. I don't like you said, it's somebody like me. As you guys can tell, I've been playing fighting games since I was a kid. So I'm not an amateur. I can play Street Fighter. I can play Tekken. But the thing about it is what I don't like is that I want my friends to play it. Well, Tekken's still not that bad. People could pick up Tekken. Tekken hasn't gone away from that. But I want to play Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and all this stuff with some of my other friends. But they're like, man, the game looks too hard. The same thing, Fighter Z. There's so many Dragon Ball fighting game fans that want to play Fighter Z, but they made the game so complicated. It's like, guys, you don't have to make this game this complicated to make it fun. Look at Tekken. Look at what Tekken is doing. There is a beginner can go into Tekken and they don't have to put in that many hours to get decent at Tekken. All they got to do is go into practice mode, learn a couple of moves from the character, play a little bit, play on hard, and they can go online and win a couple of matches. But Street Fighter now, like literally, like you said, if you want to play online in Street Fighter, it's almost like you have to be like you said, you almost have to spend hundreds of hours studying and training yourself up. And it's just like, guys,
you can win. The thing is, you can win at the early stages, but like, you can also get exploited by like for instance, having to know matchups when you start to get good. Like, it's
frustrating.
Even like a new game that came out that's really popular in the FGC is Guilty Gear Strive. And I'm just like, nope. I looked at it, I'm like, I'm having enough time trying to learn everything I need to know for Street Fighter, much less learning another game with a bunch of damn mechanics that I need to learn about and frame data. And I'm good on that.
Yeah.
I like watching other people play. I don't like having to feel like I need to study and play for hours, because the people who are in the top 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people in the world at Street Fighter have put tons of hours into it. Tons of hours that I could be spending watching Marvel's What If, or
people
or just doing anything else.
You know what I mean?
Having a life.
Like people actually, that's the thing that I don't. This is the thing that I kind of fear that the fighting game community. The fighting game community is slowly doing, and no other communities are, because let's just be honest, the fighting game community is the first true community in gaming history. It's the first like real big where millions of people are spent, like, because Evo, let's be honest, Evo is like the first true really big massive, like, millions of people is streaming on internet, the first one. Then all the other games started copying that, like Fortnite, Call of Duty, and all these other shooting games started copying. But the thing about it is, those communities are not pushing away the noobs. They're letting the noobs in. They're teaching the noobs. They're doing tournaments for noobs. But fighting games, they're like, just like the fighting game community turns their nose up to noobs.
Well, I don't know. I'll push back a little on that. I actually think that the fighting game community, at least for Street Fighter, which is the one that I'm mainly involved in, they're actually really good about, like, most everything I know about Street Fighter 5, I learned from other people's tutorial videos, like reading their or watching their tutorial videos or asking questions or whatever. You know, the people like in the FGC, like Smug or Punk, or even like these guys, they stream all the time. You know, Brian F, they stream. They they answer questions. They put out tutorial videos. They give advice. So like in a way, they are trying to kind of fill in the holes of people's knowledge. But the fact that they need all this knowledge in order to play a game is just like, I already work. I don't want to work some more when I'm trying to have fun. But it's also not fun to get your butt kicked. So I mean, it's a give and take, I think.
Just real quick, you all right? It's starting to get. I feel like it's still I feel like you're right. It is true. The community is getting better, because at first it was a little toxic, because like it was like I remember like there was like the real, like, you probably don't really remember Chris G and a couple of other people that are really good at it. They're kind of toxic. Like they know what I mean? They will not, if they came across a beginner online, they'll absolutely destroy them. You know what I mean? Or they won't try to teach. I mean, now, Justin Wong and them are starting to, like, you're starting to see them coming out, like, Maximilian Dude and all this stuff starting to come out and teaching more people. That is true. But I feel like the creators of the game, they're just, like, I'm looking at like you said, I look at Street Fighter 5 and I can look at it compared to Street Fighter 4. It's a completely different game. It's not the same game. You know what I mean? And I look at Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 11 is not Mortal Kombat X. It's a completely different game. It's like, God, I mean, I feel like I'm not playing. Like, I really felt like when I was playing Mortal Kombat 11, I felt like this is the first time I ever picked up a Mortal Kombat game, and I did not have fun playing. It felt like I wasn't playing Mortal Kombat. It felt like I was playing a game that was taking itself way too seriously. And it took out the zaniness. It took out the combo. Well, there's still combos in Mortal Kombat, but it took out what made Mortal Kombat. And I just did not like it, and I stopped playing it. And you can see Mortal Kombat 11 died extremely fast.
Yeah. But as usual, there's always more iterations and other games coming in the future. So FGC, the fighting game community, fighting games in general, they still got a bright future. And if they can kind of thread this needle of appealing to casual players, but also, providing a competitive scene that is worthy of the high level of play that you get from not just the professionals, but also the people that kind of hover around the professional level. If they can do that, I think, fighting games are going to have a pretty bright future in video games. So, but that was fun. I enjoyed that. So, that's just a little overview of fighting games. Not too many specifics, but you know what? maybe we missed some things. Maybe we just didn't talk about your favorite game. Maybe you just want to just chime in and say something nice. Whatever it is, you know what you can do. Get down to the comments. Let us know what you're thinking about. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And we can talk about these things. Talk about all the news, or talk about fighting games. Or even maybe someone wants my, my Capcom Fighters Network username so you can beat me up. That's fine too. So anyway, you know what, guys? I can't do this show without my good friend Lottie, who always brings the knowledge. So Lottie, can you tell everyone how they can reach you on social media?
Oh yeah, you can always find me on my Instagram. It's Anu Kinihun. It's spelled ANUKINIHUN. Yes, again, it's ANUKINIHUN. Constantly upload pictures, different videos of characters that I'm working on. And of course, my YouTube channel is Kinihun25. I upload gameplay in 1440p 60 and 4K 60. I'm actually going to start doing live streams and playthroughs of different games, so you guys can see how good I am. Because I know you guys hear me, they're like, oh, this guy acts like he's so good at games. I actually am, so you guys will see that soon.
Right. Yeah, you guys go check that out. Check out all his social media, and do like you're doing now. Click on some videos and do a like and all that fun stuff. Show some love. All right, so that's the show for this week. We're going to be back next week. I'm sure there's a ton of video game news that we're going to have to cover coming up this week, and we'll have fun with that then. And you know what? I forgot to go back and say this. While you guys are in the clicking mood and wanting to leave comments and all that, why don't you get down to there and hit the subscribe button, and of course you can always hit the notification bell to let you know when we drop new content. So all right, so that's it for this week. I have been Mo De Buffet, your resident fabricant and commentary extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, the superhero fan, and of course our resident video game designer, Lottie. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.